Caleb walked until the ache in his feet reminded him he was still in his body. The cold followed him, but it no longer felt hostile, only honest. Streetlights flickered on one by one, casting long shadows that stretched farther than they should have, like the city was trying to tell on itself. He passed the old church without planning to. The building leaned slightly, bricks darkened by decades of weather and neglect. A hand-painted sign leaned against the steps, letters uneven but legible. Prayer tonight. Doors open. Caleb slowed. He had not planned on stopping. He rarely planned anything anymore. But something about the door, still standing when so many others had closed, held him in place. Inside, the air smelled like dust and coffee. Folding chairs scraped softly against the floor. A handful of people sat scattered, not close enough to feel like a crowd, not far enough to pretend they were alone. At the front stood a man sweeping. He moved with purpose, not hurried, not lazy. Each stroke of the broom deliberate, like the floor mattered. He was not dressed like a preacher. Just a jacket worn thin at the elbows and eyes that noticed more than they announced. The man looked up, meeting Caleb's gaze without surprise. "You can come in," he said. "You do not have to decide anything." Caleb nodded, choosing a seat near the back. The man returned to sweeping. Someone prayed quietly. Someone cried without apology. Someone read aloud from a worn Bible, the words steady, unembellished. "For God so loved the world, that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life," as written in John chapter 3 verse 16. Caleb felt the words land, not heavy, but precise. After a while, the man set the broom aside and sat on the edge of the steps. He did not introduce himself. He did not explain anything. "People think watching means judging," he said calmly. "It does not. It means staying awake when others decide to sleep through truth." Caleb listened. "I have seen men carry weights they were never meant to lift," the man continued. "Debt. Guilt. Anger passed down like inheritance. The world tells them to get stronger. God tells them to get free." Caleb swallowed. "What happens when you walk away?" someone asked, "and everything falls apart anyway?" The man nodded slowly. "Then you find out what was holding you together in the first place." After the gathering ended, Caleb lingered. The man was back to sweeping. "Thank you," Caleb said, unsure what he meant by it. The man smiled faintly. "You are welcome." "Do you work here?" Caleb asked. "I watch," the man replied. "And I warn when needed." Caleb hesitated. "What is your name?" The man leaned the broom against the wall. "B.J. Mayfield." He paused, then added, "Some call me the Watchman. Not because I see everything, but because I try not to ignore what God reveals." Caleb nodded, something steady settling in his chest. Outside, the city was the same. Same streets. Same cold. Same unanswered questions. But Caleb walked differently now. Somewhere across town, Leon was making calls. Marcus was counting numbers that would not align. Reese was pacing, anger pressing for release. And a watchman was watching, not to condemn, but to call men back before the cost became irreversible. As written in Proverbs chapter 4 verse 23, "Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life." The night continued, but something had already shifted.